Hello! Welcome to figuring out how to make art even when it feels impossible. So guess what? I haven't been around all summer, and if you watch regularly, then you already knew that. And if you are here for the first time, you probably clicked on this video because you're having a hard time fitting art into your life. So I have made other videos about this topic before, but at least for myself, this summer has been so much that I wanted to do a video about, like, how about if it's actually almost like impossible to make art? What do you do then? So I am coming to you from my car because I did a delivery of a loved one to an appointment. And so here is a strategy that I came up with to make art even in a situation like this. So there was a store nearby, and I bought a sketchbook, and they also had some paints. And this wasn't even like an art store, it was sort of like a home goods store. So this isn't like, you know, fancy paints or anything, but it's just like a little watercolor pan. And then here's a cup that my teen left in the car. I think it's horchata. Anyway, I have some water, I have some watercolor, and I have a sketchbook. And I'm waiting for this appointment to be over. And I thought, you know what? This is it. I'm going to talk to you and paint. And we're going to talk about how to fit this into our lives, because it is one of the most important things in our lives. So, okay, so first of all, hello, my name is Anne. I am a professional artist who is very color focused, and I am here to be your art friend. And together, let's deepen our art practices. Okay. So there's a lot going on in my life and in the world, and also in the life of my loved ones. And so what happens now? Like, it's hard for me to even think about where my art practice is going, because the timing of it all. I feel like my art practice is actually at a crossroads right now. So what would be really nice is if I could get into the studio and work out these sort of transitioning moments, you know, in my brain, but I can't. And I don't really paint with watercolor anymore as my regular medium. So this is just like my only access to color that makes sense today, because I found it at the store. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to do the studio color notebook activity that I've talked about before. That's part of my slow color project. And I'm just going to paint color. And I'm not going to do it, I'm not going to do like an actual image of something. I'm not going to try to paint what I see in the world. I am just going to give myself a little bit of color medicine, because I need color in my life so badly right now. So in a minute I'll show you what I'm doing, but first of all, I want to ask you, where are you in your art practice in terms of, like, do you have time to get into the studio right now? Is life really nutty for you as well? And if so, how in the heck are you getting it into your life? Art. How are you getting art into your life? Let me know, let everybody else know in the comments, because we are in this thing together. I will tell you that it has not gone well for me this summer. It's just been a relentless summer of not doing art. And like, I know that I need to remind myself to have a spacious mentality, to remind myself that just because something isn't happening right now doesn't mean it's never going to happen. And also remind myself that there is ebb and flow in creativity. But My usual approach to things is if it's part of my practice, I try to do it every day. And since I haven't been making art every day or most days, to be honest, I've gotten pretty, I don't know what the word is, tweaky. It hasn't been good, and I haven't felt right in my mind, you know? One approach that seems to work is to sit down and think about your wacky day-to-day life where all the stuff's happening and work out how you could fit something in a weird way. Like I'm doing watercolor in the car, which is possibly, yeah, I don't do that very much. Like I don't do that very much because I don't really watercolor very much, I guess. And the thing is, a lot of my media, like my mediums, are too messy to do in the car. So step one is figure out what your medium on the road can be. So in my case, like I usually paint with oil and acrylic, and that's not happening. But I really wanted to have access to color. I definitely have had bazillions of sketchbooks, and I've sketched with pencil or pens or even markers, but I wanted to have access to paint. And so watercolor, like a little watercolor pan, was going to be the only option in this case, because I wasn't going to try to do oil on the road. I tried it in the kitchen, and that was hard enough. So yeah, so figure out your medium that's going to be your on-the-go medium. Ideas are markers, actual crayons, including Caran d'Ache wax pastels, a little pan of watercolor because it's kind of easy to wash up. Some markers are brush markers, and so that could work. And then, of course, pencils and pens. I have to say, I've had some of my very favorite sketches done in using a ballpoint pen. And then if you could even use a 4-color ballpoint pen to great effect if you want to really challenge yourself. So you figure out strange blocks of time that you can do some kind of art practice, and then figure out what your on-the-go material or medium is going to be. And in my case, I put this in my car. I put this paint situation in the trunk of my car for moments like this when I'm waiting for an appointment to be over. Number 3, be so kind and flexible with yourself. Kind meaning do not expect genius works of masterpiece right now. What this is doing is allowing you to keep the channel open so that you can stay in this mental space still, even if you're not in your actual physical space where you usually work. So, but also when I say be flexible, as in this is not how I usually make art, and that's okay. This is how I make art when I'm desperate and I'm in a car. So, yes, desperate and in a car. Number 4, do it with friends. So if you are in a situation where your life is so busy that it feels absolutely impossible to make art at all, but you've also been neglecting your friends because of this awful amount of items that you had to do, then this would be an interesting time to invite your friend or friends over to just paint. And when I say just paint, I don't mean make masterpieces. Again, that's really, important to say that, but to get your paintbrush on a piece of paper. So just invite them over, pull out some paint and some paper, and make sure it's very clear that there are no rules or expectations around what people are making, and that the point of it is to just put color on the paper. So I did this on Sunday with a dear friend of mine. She had reached out to say, do you want to get together? It's been so long. And I was like, yes, of course I want to see her. It has been a long time. It has been a long time since I've seen a lot of friends, actually, and this is getting out of hand. But I really, really was going to go into the studio for a couple of minutes on that day, and so I was like, you know what? Why don't I just invite her over to do it too? And so that's what we did. And so we hung out and we talked about life while we were basically doodling with paint. And it was like, it was joy. I just felt so much better afterwards, and so did she. So that is another idea of how to solve this terrible problem of not making art when you really can't. Because you may not really be making art, but you are keeping the channel open. You're having a little conversation with yourself about color and shapes and anything else. Marks, lines, composition, I guess, but let's not get too serious. This is just being here with yourself and your colors, and in some cases, your friend. Idea number 5. If seeing friends is totally out of the realm of possibility, and one thing you have been doing lately to just deal with your sanity is to watch a show on TV or the internet, well, guess what? You could take this same setup and turn on your show and doodle with color, and you will still get the benefit of this experience, even if you're sort of watching brain rot, as my mom used to call it, mindless drivel. Or even if you're watching a fine film, you can still do this, I guess, unless if the film is so fine that it's just absolutely beautiful, then I guess it's kind of hard to multitask like that. But yeah, watching a show and pulling out your paints is a good idea. And if you're like more of a purist and you're like, no, I don't want to do that while I watch a show, if now we're getting into the territory of you actually have time for yourself, and that you are able to, I don't know, so maybe some people aren't addicted to the internet, but anyway, you could just force yourself to turn off the internet and then put on some music and do this activity as well. But again, that might be for somebody who has time, and you probably don't need to watch this video. Yeah, so anyway. Do you want to see what I'm doing? Okay. I had intended to bring a tripod to shoot the video today, but guess what? I left it at home. So now I'm using my hand. So please excuse potential wobbliness. What's the state of your life now? Is it easy for you to get into the studio? If so, it's okay to tell me that. I will vicariously enjoy what you've been up to. Like, we haven't talked all summer because I've been out of commission. So, tell me about your art practice today, these days. What's going on? I haven't heard from people in so long because I haven't been posting. And so I don't know what's going on with you. Even if you haven't ever commented before, I would still like to know, are you in desperate times and desperate measures like me? Or are you in the middle of a meaningful and awesome project? Please do tell me. I want to know. I'm so grateful to be here with you right now, just goofing off. Thank you so much for watching this and for, I don't know, just reflecting on your own practice right now, because I feel like the synergy of us just being here together has got to stand for something. It's got to help somehow. Am I right? So, if you leave this video ready to go do something with your paintbrush, I will be happy. So let me know. Let me know what you're doing. And this is rough. The video is rough. The doodle is rough. But it's been done. And so you'll hear from me again soon, because I am definitely committing to getting back in the swing of things. And thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you next time. Bye.